We are starting with eNest 153. Yeah. Now you can start the presentation.
Good evening, sir. Hope I'm audible, sir.
Audible. You can start. You're audible.
A very good evening to all the members present in the meeting. Myself, Salsabil Muhammad Abdul Kareem, from family third year, studying in G. Pulla Reddy College of Pharmacy, Hyderabad. The subject for this poster presentation is pharmacotherapy of COVID-19 with potential clinical benefits, or the treatment of the COVID-19 with available clinical benefits. The main goal of my poster presentation is to create awareness or to let know the people about the availability of the potential or benefited treatment for the COVID-19. So, as we all know, that severe acute respiratory syndrome (COV-2) is a new strain of the virus which emerged in the year 2019, and it is highly infectious disease. The symptoms of the disease include cough, sore throat. Sore throat mainly occurs when it is in the stage of throat, and difficulty in breathing. Difficulty in breathing mostly occurs when the virus gets infiltrated into the lungs. So, in this presentation, I have focused on the four more potent drugs which are used in the treatment of the COVID-19. The first effective drug is remdesivir. Remdesivir is a adenosine analog. As we all know, that COVID-19 is an retrovirus, RNA virus. So, remdesivir is an RNA chain terminator. It acts on the RNA chain. I mean, RNA chain, RNA dependent RNA polymerase, and it terminates the activity of the chain. It was found in the in vitro studies that the half maximal effective concentration of the drug at 48 hours was found to be 0.77 micromolar, and the dose would be 200 mg would be the 200 mg would be the loading dose administered via intravenous route on the day one, followed by the maintenance dose of 100 mg via intravenous route. Sorry. And the metabolism of remdesivir is by the hydrolase activity. That hydrolase is basically an enzyme which is responsible for the catalytic activity and thereby causing the metabolism. This hydrolase activity is mainly the hydrolysis of the bonds present in the drug structure of the drug, and thereby causing the metabolism of the drug. The second potent drug is anticoagulant. As we all know, that COVID-19 is showing the various patterns of disease. Some are having a hyperinflammatory state, some are having hypercoagulative state. So anticoagulants are used in the case where the patients are having excessive coagulation due to the viral induced endothelial dysfunction, or maybe the cytokine storm, or due to the hyperactivation of the complement system. And this would cause excessive this would cause excessive accumulation of the fibrin or fibrin degraded products or the D dimers which are involved in the coagulation of the blood. The dose which would be given for the COVID patients in case of hypercoagulation is 4,000 to 6,000 international units every 24 hours. And in case of severe cases, in case of severity, 100 international units are given for every kg of the individual patient, and it is given for the frequency of the 12 hours. The third potent drug includes the corticosteroids. These are the agents which blunt the inflammation or decreases the inflammation or destroys the inflammatory cascade. The dose, mostly methylprednisolone is used. Methylprednisolone is given at the dosing of 1 to 2 mg per kg every day for the period of 5 days. And the outcomes are highly improved because these are the drugs which are highly anti-inflammatory and blunt the inflammatory cascade. So the fourth effective drug for the treatment of COVID-19 is tocilizumab. This is a bit rare drug. It is a monoclonal antibody. The main mechanism of action of this drug is inhibition of the interleukin 6. receptors. It is the interleukin 6 receptor antagonist, and it is used mostly in the case where cytokine storming is observed. And this cytokine storming can be detected by performing the tests like C-reactive protein test, by which we can detect the inflammation, the stage of the inflammation, and thereby the cytokine levels. And the dosing for this drug for tocilizumab is 400 mg every 12 hours and administered via intravenous route. I have also included the agents which were initially failed for the treatment of the COVID-19, such as hydroxychloroquine, chloroquine, and azithromycin. These drugs failed because they were failed to decrease the viral load in the body, and after administration of this drug, there were further need of mechanical ventilation to the patients, and the mortality rate was so high. The investigational drugs which are at the stage of clinical trials or at the stage of research or investigation includes bamlanivimab, which is a monoclonal antibody, and another second combination include casirivimab and imdevimab, and the third combination include bamlanivimab and itesivimab. So these are the drugs which are under the investigation and which could be used in the future for the treatment of the COVID-19. So results, how potent these drugs are, how much these drugs were effective during the clinical trials. For the drug remdesivir, that is an antiviral drug, a randomized clinical trial was conducted in which 312 patients were involved, in which half of the patients were given remdesivir and other half of the patients were given other standard care. Other standard care, and the 74% of the patients were recovered on the day 14 who was given remdesivir, when compared to the 59% of the patients who were died, unfortunately. The results of the anticoagulants include, in the trial for the anticoagulants, 2,574 patients were involved, from which 70% of the patients were administered with the anticoagulant heparin, and the results were found as 14% recovered after giving anticoagulant versus 7.4% who died. The results of the corticosteroids include, in the results of the corticosteroids, the primary endpoint and secondary endpoint both are considered, and it is a 28 days trial in which the primary endpoint includes 25.7% of the patients recovered versus 22.9% patients who died, and the secondary endpoint is the one is 61.5% recovered versus 56.3% who died, unfortunately. And in the case of tocilizumab, the clinical trial was performed only in the patients where the C-reactive protein was elevated, indicating the trigger of indicating a hyperinflammatory state in that patient. So tocilizumab was given to the patients, among which 27.6% of the patients recovered, while 10.3% of the patients died. So I would like to conclude my poster presentation by sorry, by saying that the provision of this clinically benefited treatment is highly useful in creating awareness and to combat this COVID-19 and to get relieved of this psychological illness. It's becoming an illness day by day, and this outbreak would end soon. By hoping this, I would end my poster presentation. Thank you.
Now I request evaluators to start with the questions.
Okay, I just like to ask a few things that have you found did you search for anything related to methylene blue or favipiravir or ivermectin, because all these were also, somewhere they were considered to be a part of the treatment. Methylene blue was in the news, quite a few times. Have you searched for anything regarding these as well?
Yes, sir. There were many many drugs which were initially considered for the treatment of the COVID-19, which includes, as you said, methylene blue or ivermectin antiviral medication. But those drugs were some of the drugs which have been referred, such as ivermectin, was issued by the FDA for the temporary use as emergency use authorization, and it was terminated after the clinical trials results, which indicated that it is having a high mortality rate after its use.
Okay, that's it from my side.
Dr. Bharti?
Yeah. In my view, she has studied a very superficial level. She has not gone in depth. Anyway, you might have covered many antiviral drugs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Overall, I feel the study is very much a superficial level. Still, you have to prepare in depth.
Sir,
Okay.
as this is a poster presentation, I could include some of the information which was possible, sir.
Yeah, understood. Whether it is poster or oral, within the one-page content, what the maximum you have to exert, that much you have to do it. This is my personal comment. Otherwise, it is okay.
First of all, you have done a superficial survey. First of all, I will correct that the remdesivir spelling is incorrect. First of all, that is a not good thing, as you have concluded shown very few data. I think so. Plasma therapy should be there in a treatment. Plasma therapy.
Sir, it's not been widely used these days. So, according to the present data, I have included, sir.
And that 2DG that is discovered by the DRDO, that is not also included. That is recently available in market. Actually, in this poster we have to show all the things by the graphical presentation of flowchart any table, okay. But you have done very superficial survey. So in future, please just go through, and the latest and as well as the previous medicine you should explain at least. Okay, this is the end of my side. Thank you.